Hello, and thanks for clicking on this video, I guess. Today I want to talk about something very important to me. US presidents. No, not really. I want to talk about their hair. If you want to hear about US presidents, go watch like a Mr. Beat video or something like that. As someone with a full head of hair, I feel like an expert on this topic. So here's how it's going to go down. Each president is going to go into this tier list. Each tier ranging from S, meaning, who's your barber, dog? To F, meaning, who's your barber, dog? Like, seriously, they fucked you up, man. And then non-applicable for the bald presidents. Now here's the catch. We're only going by hairlines of presidents while they were in office. So no pictures of young Martin Van Buren. Like, that'll help his case at all. So let's start with number 1, George Washington. Now granted, he wears a wig, but in every portrait I've seen of him, he exhibits what is considered the widow's peak hairline. And what that is, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. What do you take me for? It's not like I claim to be an expert on this topic in the first 30 seconds of the video. Only an absolute buffoon would say such lies. Anyway, back to the tier list. I'm going to have to put George Washington at C tier, not only because of his subpar hairline, but also the fact that he tried using a wig to cover that shit up. Not on my watch, pal. Number 2 is John Adams, and I kind of feel for him. Imagine having a receding hairline and being 5'5". Like, pick a struggle. That being said, he clocks in at D tier, only saved because he rocked that shit to his best ability. You go, John. Number 3, Thomas Jefferson, aka Mr. Constitution. Well, Mr. Jefferson, we the people believe that your hairline is actually alright. I think that's worthy of a solid B tier. He still wears a wig though, and I can only really find this portrait and other variations of it on Google. I'm on to you, Thomas. Number 4, James Madison. He wears a wig too, but like, come on man, you aren't fooling anybody. Number 5, James Monroe. While his hairline is rather round, you can tell there are signs of male pattern baldness catching up to him. For that, I'll put his hairline at lower B tier. It's not bad enough to be sitting with Washington in them. It's also not that great either. Number 6, John Quincy Adams. First photographed president, first Nepo baby president. Can't say that man wasn't making waves. The man barely had any hair. Like, if anything, it's just an accessory to his beard. He wasn't bald though, so if we're talking hairlines, this has got to be our first F. Like, just go bald, man. Number 7, Andrew Jackson. Everything about him is cash money, until you look at his hairline. Jackson had a natural 5 head, and while a big forehead usually doesn't mean the end of the world, for him it absolutely does, because his hairline is just awful, for the lack of better words. Now let's not even talk about that Dracula-ass getup. You can get all the way up out of here. Let me give you a D tier, because it can get worse. Number 8, Martin Van Buren. It got worse. I mean, do you really need an explanation for me? Like, just look at it! I apologize. I lost my train of thought. Back to the tier list. Yeah, Martin Van Buren's going straight into F tier, without possibility of parole. Number 9, William Henry Harrison. While we all know about Harrison's insane eyebrow game, what often goes underappreciated is how he mastered the art of the comb over. Real eyes. Realize. Real lies, William. I do respect the effort though. Even though his hairline wasn't all that, he still tried. Number 10, John Tyler. He should have went bald. I believe he would have rocked that bowling pin style, honestly. He seemed like one of those men who were too afraid to let go of their hair, so I'm gonna have to put him in D tier. So close to being based and bald-pilled. Number 11 is James K. Polk. Texas! Polk had a pretty far back hairline, and his forehead was about as big as the aforementioned state. I apologize to all my viewers out of the great state of Texas. Unfortunately, your man's hairline is just not it. Number 12, Zachary Taylor. He also did the comb over technique, but he just doesn't look as cool as Harrison when he does it. I don't know what to tell you, man. Number 13, Millard Fillmore, aka the CEO of slavery. Well, not really. He didn't really own slaves, but he did pass a lot of pro-slavery laws. Don't let any of that distract you from the fact that he had a clean fucking cut. And it's so insulting because he was racist as shit. But hey, he's got to go in A tier. Number 14, Franklin Pierce. Another pretty good hairline. My only nitpick is that he often makes some weird hairstyle choices. Gotta stick with the comb over, bro. Your forehead's kinda crazy. I'll give him a high B. It's pretty good. Number 15, Burger King foot. James Buchanan. Buchanan's another one of those shoulda went bald presidents, but I kinda understand. He didn't have the greatest shaped forehead. Still an abysmal hairline, he should feel bad about it. Number 16, Abraham Lincoln, aka Honest Abe, aka Big Shoe LMFAO. He really did have the biggest shoes in US president history though, look it up. He also has the biggest forehead in US presidential history by far. Good God. Him and Andrew Jackson, they got the rest of them beat. They're like the 2000s LA Lakers when it comes to having a big ass forehead. I'm surprised that John Wilkes Booth's handgun was strong enough for the job. Okay, I think you get the point. Since we're talking hairlines, it can get worse. It's still pretty bad, but I guess that's the best God could have done after creating a forehead like that. Number 17, Andrew Johnson. And what appears to be some baldness in the corner, he was definitely practicing the art of the comb-over, of which his forefathers have been passing on from generation to generation. Truly a traditional man with traditional hairline values. God bless America. Number 18, Ulysses S. Grant. Well, sir, I grant you a good day because you're... Okay, that wasn't funny. Listen, you can take your $50 hairline to the B tier. Good day, sir. Number 19, Rutherford B. Hayes. If this was a beard tier list, Hayes would be S tier. Unfortunately, this is a hairline tier list, and his hairline's not really that good. It's mediocre at best, and even the comb over doesn't do him justice. Number 20, James Garfield. God, I hate Mondays. No, I said James Garfield. His haircut looks normal, then it also looks like his barber pushed his shit back by 2 inches. That's because his hair can only grow that far. Poor Garfield, but that's a C tier in my opinion. 21, Chester Alan Arthur. Another comb-over guy, and I don't have too many complaints about his hairline, other than his beard. That's a conversation for a different day. Pretty solid B tier. Number 22, Grover Cleveland. Now this hairline right here, this is special. This is a hairline of a man who just will not let go. Like, look at this photo. His hair is dying. The comb-over can't save you anymore, dog. Just let it go. Number 23, Benjamin Harrison. Now, this is a really good hairline, I can't even lie. But considering his grandpop is William Henry Harrison, it makes sense. Only this time, Harrison was actually born with a good hairline. Number 24, Grover Cleveland. I'm kidding. William McKinley. Only in Ohio are you going to find a hairline quite like his. And I don't know, this could just be the fact that I'm way too desensitized to receding hairlines by this part of the video. But he's just, meh, you know what I'm saying? Number 26, Theodore Roosevelt. Teddy has a pretty nice cut, I will say. I just might have to put this at S tier, because this is the best hairline I've seen of the presidents so far. Number 27, William Howard Taft. A rather distinguished fellow, and even more distinguished hairline. He goes into B tier. Number 28, Woodrow Wilson. Another man of the comb. He's got a decent hairline, but a pretty big forehead. And I mean, that comes with having a big head in general. So I'll give him a B tier. Number 29, Warren G. Harding, aka I'm over here stroking my dick. He was a very faithful president. Don't look that one up, by the way. Just trust me. Affair aside, his hairline's pretty mediocre, and a comb over doesn't bail him out. I guess that's what he gets for cheating on his wife. Number 30, Calvin Coolidge. At first glance, you see a seemingly good hairline, until he turns the other side and half of it is just gone. Gotta appreciate his persistence to always get his good side photographed. We all know the truth though. Number 31 is Herbert Hoover, aka the Great Depression, but the materialized being, not the concept. Hoover had a pretty good hairline, was damn near bald after his presidency, but by now you should know the rules already. That's a B tier because his hairline was decent during his time in office. 32, Franklin Roosevelt. This is a tough one because his hairline was decent during his first term, but by the time the fourth had rolled around, his shit was cooked, man. Gotta appreciate how gracefully his hair started to go, and the fact that he was able to somewhat keep his original hairstyle, even with the noticeable thinning. It's a solid B. Number 33 is Harry S. Truman. Another comb-over president who just should've went bald. He had a pretty big forehead, and his hair just doesn't make sense on his head, bruh. I give him a D tier under Lincoln because at least his hair served a purpose, but Truman should've just went bald. Number 34, bald. I mean bald. What I'm trying to say is bald. He's bald. Number 35, John F. Kennedy. JFK had a nice hairline. I don't know how much of that is just comb-over magic, but it's enough for an A tier. Number 36, Lyndon B. Johnson. Johnson's hairline is bad. It looks like one of those vacuum roller things when you get hair stuck in them. D tier because there's worse, but this one's also bad. Number 37, Richard Nixon. According to White House reporters, Nixon's favorite pastime included building underwater fences. Search Richard Nixon Watergate to learn more. Affinity for underwater barriers aside, Nixon's haircut is very similar to Lyndon B. Johnson, but his hairline goes much further back. He also lacks the natural short king swagger of John Adams, so unfortunately, he goes into lower D tier. Number 38, Gerald Ford. And I have one question, Gerald. Is this hairline in the room with us? Cause this shit looks non-existent to me. What you are looking at in this photo is delusion. This is insanity. Just go bald, man. Let it go. Number 39, Peanut Man himself, Jimmy Carter, who happens to still be alive today. He's actually 99 at the time of making this video. He must have discovered the nuts of immortality. And hey man, I'd take a handful of those nuts. Pause on that. A comb-over savant, Carter tried using a swoop hairstyle to cover his hairline, ultimately putting him in C tier. Number 40, Ronald Reagan, CEO of AIDS. Reagan had a good hairline. Like a really good hairline. It's almost insulting how good it is. As much as it pains me to do this, Ronald Reagan goes into S tier. We truly live in a society. 41, George Bush, aka the first president to do a coin flip at the Super Bowl! Yeah! He also kind of has that TV dad haircut going on, but just balder. Honestly, it's a toss-up, it could go either way, but I'll put him in C tier under Harrison for now. Number 42, Bill Clinton. And am I crazy for thinking that his hairline is better today, after his presidency? His hairline was still pretty solid during his presidency. That's why I'll give him a B tier. Number 43, George Bush, of the W variant. He had a pretty good hairline too. Fortunately, he didn't inherit the baldness from his dad. Good for you, George. Number 44, Barack Obama. It's the perfect hairline. His barber lined him up perfectly. I wish I was lined up, as well as Barack Obama. If this isn't your S tier, you're afraid of the truth. Number 45, Donald Trump. And is the hair even real? Like seriously, is the hair even real? He just looks bald under there, bruh. Like I can see his scalp in this picture. That shit's see-through. Tell me you didn't just order that shit off Temu for $5. That thing on his head is going into F tier, and it's not even close. Number 46, Joe Biden. 早上好，中国。现在我有冰淇淋，我很喜欢冰淇淋。Biden's hairline is pretty bad. The comb over doesn't work, man. Just go bald. That's the tier list. That's every US president. That's every hairline. If you have any complaints with this tier list, please argue with me in the comment section below. But keep it respectful, because I have a fragile ego, and I don't want to get hurt too bad, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, happy holidays. This video is going to be released on Christmas Eve. So, yeah, enjoy the presents, I guess.